So we can say it's a democratically elected government. And okay, maybe I show some picture of. Can you go to? Yeah. There was a former president of Burma who won the election in 2010. So he tried to introduce some reform, some change in Burma. So we can, at the time, there was more press freedom, and they left the censorship. So the journalists who were based in Thailand or somewhere else outside the country can return to Burma and operate their work. So in 2015, so you can go to the. So and the democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi, actually the picture is not clear. The red one with the flower on her head. So it's during the 2015 election. She campaigned. She visited her constituency in Burma. So yeah, this is Aung San Suu Kyi, the de facto leader of Burma. She was banned not to be president because she has a foreign husband. So the constitution blocked her to become as a president. So yeah, another one. Yeah, so he chose the current president of Burma, named Tenjo, as a president. So okay, there's some change that has been after 2010, 2011, and until now. So for the ASEAN community, I want to talk about the drug issue, like that area called the Golden Triangle, when lots of drug and crystal ice and heroin, opium has been producing. So, and if you look at the geography, it's between Thailand and Burma and Laos, and it's called Golden Triangle because of three countries who are an ASEAN member, where they meet. So the leader of ASEAN and a respective leader who handle the drug trade, drug trafficking, they have been having a regular meeting very often, but in the reality, the drug problem is still going on, and drug trades is still going on in those countries. They can't even stop the drug trade, drug trafficking, and you can go. Yeah, this is the location where the three countries meet, and the river is the Mekong River. And there's the drug use in Burma, because in that area in Shah State where the lots of poppy plantation. So there's the police of the Burma. Try to eliminate, destroy the plantation of poppy. But even the leader of ASEAN have a meeting regularly. There are no really action. But one accident in the Mekong River, and a drug warlord, his people killed 11 Chinese crew on the Mekong River, and it was big news at the time. So, and it was published by Bangkok Post and some other publication, and then it got attention. Then Chinese government seriously cracked down on the one lot of drug and drug trafficking in the Mekong River, and finally they arrest the drug trafficker leaders. You can go. No, not that one. Yeah, this is the leader of the drug trafficking group who operate drug trade on Mekong River. So he was arrested, and you can see the action. When they take the action, then it's effective. So they arrest the drug leader. So I think media role is very important, especially the ASEAN media. We can push the government to do their job, not really to come and have a meeting and post it for the pictures. I think there's a very important role of the media, and we can even go deeper on the particular issue that the ASEAN have to handle, not talking about their policy, talking about their cooperation on crack down the drug trade, things like that, because they're just talking at the conference meeting, and they don't really have action. And even Burmese government authority and Thai, there's not much cooperation between the drug trade. That's why it's still existing. You can go. So another story about slavery and migration within ASEAN region. So you might know that there's a lot of Burmese migrant workers who come to Thailand and work in Thailand. So a lot of them were trafficked by the human trafficker. So they were trafficked from Burma to Thailand, and Thailand they were sold to the fishy boat. The fishy boats go to the Thai water, also in Indonesia and Malaysia. So this is one of the big example of how media played a big role to impact the ASEAN community. Because we know that there's a Cambodian migrant worker, Burmese migrant worker come to Thailand and work, and sometimes they were arrested, sometimes they were deported. So it's just normal news, and we don't go deeper. So if we go deeper, this has impact. Like this story, the story actually is an AP story, and they investigate the route of the trafficking, and the reporter travel to Indonesia, to many Islands, and investigate the migrant worker who have been enslaved for years, and they have no home to go home. And so they make an investigation and link with the global audience, like the audience in the US and Europe, because the story focused on the seafood. And this seafood, behind the seafood, there was slavery. This enslaved migrant work 24 hours like a slave in the sea, without salary, without payment, because they were sold by trafficker, and they are just slave. They just have to work for the fishing boat. So this seafood were trade to many countries in the U.S., especially U.S. This story they focus on U.S. So like a pet food, seafood in U.S. Supermarket like Walmart. So the AP reporter worked in a group, three female journalists. So they track the supply chain of the seafood, pet food. So the AP journalists in US, they find out, they investigate the seafood in US, then they found that this seafood and pet food were sold largely in big supermarket like Walmart and other supermarket. So it's become very interesting, and from Southeast Asian to global audience. So these journalists work as a team and go very deep of behind the story of the migrant worker, and this has huge impact, and they won one of the most famous prize, the Pulitzer Prize, last year. So one of my Burmese reporter is my friend, so and she also got a Pulitzer Prize as a team. And after the story was published, and more than 2,000 enslaved migrants were free. So you can see the action of the ASEAN leader, like the Indonesian. So they cooperate with the Thai and Burmese, then they freed 2,000 enslaved fishermen, migrant workers. So it has huge impact. So this is the example that media in Southeast Asia, we can, even it might be a local news, but we can link with a global audience. We can go deeper and make a big picture, not really focus on the local and regular news that we have to cover, like the ASEAN meeting. When for me, like in Burma also, the Burmese media just focus on local story, and when we were assigned to cover the ASEAN meeting, we just write about what is going on in the meeting, and blah blah blah, and we finish, and there's no follow-up, there's no deeper investigation on the particular issue. So if we do this kind of investigation, the story, and we can link with the global audience, and we have a big impact. Okay, so this is the Burmese migrant worker who work at the fishing industry in Thailand. Another picture of the Burmese migrant worker. The same. It's finished. Yeah. So my point is the media have a big role in covering the ASEAN issue to push the government official within the ASEAN to do their work, not only have a regular meeting and talk about the policy, but if journalists like us have a cooperation and trying to give the content, relevant content, and go deeper, then we can make this kind of impact. And I believe this the role of the media. And thank you very much. I'm ready to take your question, and I'm happy to take your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I call on another member of the panel, His Excellency Datu Haji Ibrahim Abdul Rahman. He's the Director General of the Department of Information, Ministry of Information, Multimedia in Malaysia, and a member of the Board of Directors of the Malaysian Press Institute. Please join us in the panel. I have two important announcements. One is the good news. The open forum will begin in a short while, and the better news is you may get your snacks back and attend to your water break if you have any. And may I request our friends Padet and Joyce to be at your stations for the open forum. Let me just share some house rules. The first house rule is to identify yourself and the entity you come from. and go straight to the question. No privileged speeches. Privileged speeches will be reserved for congressmen and senators, and no other statements like na ano. Okay? We won't entertain na ano in this open forum. Okay? So we will begin open forum, but you may get your snacks from behind. Okay? I guess we have the first question coming from a good friend. Please pass the mic to Ellen Tordesillas.
Good morning.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'd like to address I'm Ellen Tordesillas. I'm with Vera Files. I write also a column for Malaya and Levante. I'd like to address my question to Ambassador Manalo. I'm intrigued by you mentioned during your speech that unfortunately we brought the case of the South China Sea conflict to the arbitral court. I mean, that's a unique viewpoint. Could you elaborate on that?
Now we have the microphone. Pasensya na po kayo, imported yung microphone. Yes, let's give it a try.
Where is Mr. Designer?
She's seated. Take notes. Oops.
As far as I'm concerned,
Excuse me, we'll have to do some adjustments.
Hello?
Yeah, that's it. Now that's a microphone.
hello, Mr. Desillas. I knew I would have a question from somebody like you. I love you, you know. And I'm glad you raised that question. You must remember one thing. I have been telling those who brought the case on arbitration that arbitration under the UNCLOS, the paragraph pertaining to arbitration, which is voluntary, when we ratified, the Philippines ratified UNCLOS, we opted out of that paragraph, including its attached, whatever attachment is. When we said we ratify the UNCLOS, but we will not be bound by paragraph 9 or something, that was arbitration. Without talking to China at the time, China did the same thing. When she ratified the UNCLOS, she opted out of that paragraph and the attachment to that paragraph. In other words, both China and the Philippines, without talking, were of the position that we will not be bound by the provision of the UNCLOS on arbitration. Right? So how can we bring an arbitration case under the UNCLOS out there in The Hague, in the so-called Permanent Court of Arbitration, which, by the way, is not a permanent court. A permanent court of arbitration refers to the secretariat that will help the parties in a dispute who want to do arbitration to set up the panel of arbitrators. And in arbitration, you have two panels if there are two parties quarreling, and the two parties quarreling will select an umpire, the third party. Just tell me, was that set for us when we went to arbitration? Of course not. It wasn't there. China was not there. There was no umpire. A panel handpicked supposedly by the Philippines. Baka ano pa pumili yun eh. Of course, if you pay and we still owe the panel money, you pay all of them, they will render a judgment in favor of the Philippines, which doesn't bind China. So, what ano ito? It's good as a propaganda thing, but say halo victory. Walang laman. Now I understand. Maybe President Duterte understands this, but he just would not say, I set it apart. Sinabi niya, I will invoke it at the proper time, which is a very diplomatic way of doing things. That's what really happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Manalo.
Joyce, with your indulgence,